We began this year's conference with an aim of exploring ways to realize a secure and sustainable environment where blue economy could thrive, because we believe this is what our future would substantially depend on. Now, before I proceed with my written script further, I would like to quote what Mr. Gunter Pauli said just a while ago: when everyone stops and locks, those who move set the stage. So, Mr. Gunter Pauli, if you are with us, as regards initiative for the peace and maritime security, Pakistan and Pakistan Navy has moved, and we have set the stage, and more than 40 countries across the globe have joined us in this effort, for which I thank each and every one of you. Back in year 2019, when I was commanding the fleet and we held exercise Aman, at that time I had talked of a concept of plug and play. And I had not realized that 2 years down the line, that thing will come into play. This year, since we are holding this exercise, there are navies who are participating, who participated and entered the harbor, and there are navies who opted to stay at sea and join in for the sea phase only, which means they would come, plug for the sea phase, play, and go back. So at times, the ideas that you float come true very soon. So this time, a mixed and a hybrid version exercise Aman is taking place with a plug and play concept that we introduced about 2 years back. Another thing Mr. Gunter Pauli said, that they'll be coming to Indian Ocean region and passing through areas close to Pakistan. We would definitely be interested to host you, and I would ask my hydrographer of Pakistan Navy to get in touch with Mr. Gunter Pauli and know about the details of his expedition, and we would like to contribute in whatever way and learn from your experience, sir. I vividly remember that if you want to do anything underwater, if you want to explore underwater, get underwater. And what I gathered from all the things shown by Mr. Gunter Pauli, the kind of hydrophones and the kind of filtrations that we have achieved, we are now able to listen to the heartbeats of the whales, and the days are not far when we may be performing angioplasty on whales. Well, it may look it may look very odd, but we never know what is there in store for us in the future. Pakistan Navy has very recently established Naval Research and Development Institute. I would urge the NRDI to follow what Admiral Kramad Rahman, as he said, get underwater, and only then we will understand our environment. Ladies and gentlemen, we know the consequences of reckless use of the seas in the name of economic development. And we also recognize that if the seas continue to get less of our attention, it would gradually wreck our hopes for blue economy that we now think is pivotal to socio-economic uplift, particularly those of the impoverished and deprived communities. This conference also attempted to review and refigure the Navy's role and contribute in achieving a crime-free, stable, and transparent maritime environment that genuinely enables uninterrupted conduct of the activities of blue economy. In my view, the greater purpose of the conference was not confined to mere presentation of papers and articulation of a list to do things, but it was to stimulate debate, expound alternatives, and discover new ways of dealing with maritime security challenges so that blue economy may flourish. In such open debates, there are always unique perspectives, conflicting point of views, and contesting claims. We therefore need to develop understanding and move forward to what can be the best solution. I am a strong proponent of diversity in economic thoughts and flexibility in acknowledging that flip side views always exist. Several papers in the conference have successfully highlighted the significance of this region both in terms of geopolitics and economy, and there is no denying the fact that our region would continue to remain extremely influential in global affairs. The region holds most of the world's energy reservoirs, while starkly it has some of the most enduring conflicts as well. Major world powers cannot unshackle their focus from our region, and it is in this very reality we need to explore solutions to the lingering problems inhibiting the region's capacity to make use of its potential. Major powers have been leading maritime frameworks in the Western Indian Ocean region, but there is a real need to acknowledge that the region-led and region-owned maritime security constructs would function better than the ones led, managed, and controlled by extra-regional countries. This doesn't mean any arrangement minus the world's major powers, but their role must be supportive while allowing regional nations to lead. Navies and the foreign policies are coherently tied in a manner that navies are the operational manifestation of maritime nations' foreign policy. And incidentally, we have the foreign minister listening to us. We in the Navy drive our cooperation and collaborative purpose from the ideals of our foreign policy, which above else all stresses on principled engagements. Existing and projected maritime challenges would need sustained maritime partnerships to respond. As participants, we must have observed the phrase cooperation was repeatedly used and argued by a number of presenters during this conference. That is why I firmly believe it's the cooperation that could unlock the possibility of creation of an enabling environment for the blue economy. Learning, as the phrase suggests, is a relatively permanent change in our behavior. So I am sure the conference would help us pragmatically change our priorities towards the seas and practically solidify our orientation towards sustainable use of natural resources. That will be true learning. Else, it is just the information that we might have gathered from the papers and discussions. I also hope that the conference would act as a catalyst for improved articulation and further improvement of Pakistan's national maritime policy and national maritime strategy, thereby making them effective documents for setting the right course of blue economy under a secure and sustainable environment. I express my profound gratitude to the Foreign Minister for his presence and thank all the speakers, panelists, and participants of the conference. I appreciate the efforts of National Institute of Maritime Affairs for successful conduct of the conference. I thank you all.
सरबराह पाक बहरिया की गुफ्तगू आपने मुलाहिजा की। यहाँ पर खबर है कि ख्वाजा आसिफ के खिलाफ